We're live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Live from the GME Studio, it's Good Morning Entrepreneurs.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Good Morning Entrepreneurs.
Are you an entrepreneur who has felt like you were all alone on your business adventure? Well, you're in the right place.
You know, being an entrepreneur can be lonely and challenging at times, looking for people to bounce ideas off of and get feedback.
Welcome to Good Morning Entrepreneurs,
the show designed by entrepreneurs for entrepreneurs just like you.
Keep watching for your dose of entrepreneurial fun with the Roving Reporters and, of course, Kim and Carrie.
As we like to say around here, buckle up, Buttercup.
Good morning, entrepreneurs, and welcome to show number 66. We have a little different kind of show today. I'm just going to come out of the gate with that. I am joined today by the beautiful Jill Olish, one of the associate producers, executive team leader of My Sexy Business Team, and founder of Mama Outspoken. She's here to rock your world, so pay attention, peeps. She's here to have some fun and go rogue with me today.
Good morning. Thank you, Kim, for that introduction. I am happy to be on the stage today.
I'm so glad because it's going to be an adventure. And for those of you who have not tuned in before, I am Kim White. I am the Puppy and Pony Show. I'm the fierce leader of the My Sexy Business Team and community. I will tell you, we are rogue from the get-go. We've been having some technical difficulties, we will call them, behind the scenes, and we are going live messy as always. We want you to know what's possible for you out there, so get your pen and paper ready or take notes, because we want you to see things that you can do in your business as you watch our messy adventure today. So
It'll be super messy because I am filling in someone very special shoes today, and he cannot be replaced. Adam, we're gonna have to just hold our breaths as I push all the buttons today. So,
and we want to say right out of the gate how much we miss Adam this morning, and not for button pushing, but because we love him. He is the interview king and amazing weekly associate producer, pushing the buttons and making all of us look good is what I'm going to say. But Adam, we miss you, and we can't wait for you to be back with us.
100%. Oh, well, is it time to get into our first segment at this point and talk some more about what the heck is going on today?
I love Entrepreneurland jingle, and I love that you are here to do this today, Jill, because I am giggling at the theme of the show today is doing the hard things. And, sometimes when you get spoiled, let me just say that we're very spoiled around here. Adam spoils us well. And when we're trying to do the things without him, it's like, oh yeah, we have to learn how to do that again, don't we, Jillo?
Oh, yeah. It's like, I can definitely fill in, and I can definitely be the only one doing this. I started out doing this with Adam, and then I'm like, oh no.
I love it. Well, we just want to warn everybody, this is your only warning for the show. We are going to be rogue today because we've been left to our own devices. Our sweet Kat, who is normally here, is at her symposium that she's doing this week, which is a really big deal, y'all. So we banished her. We banished Denise because she had some other things going on. We banished Adam because he wasn't feeling well. And then Jill was like, wait, please banish me, probably. That's what I'm thinking.
As we're getting in the studio this morning, I sure was.
Well, we're excited you're here with us in the GME Studio. And I have to brag just for a second on Jillo and the weekly segment on the Chronicles, because GME Chronicles is something that we're not being braggadocious, we promise, but it's very wonderful to celebrate the things you're doing in your business, and our community celebrates this. This is something we push, that we need to celebrate the things we're accomplishing. And we want you, amazing watcher, we want you to lean in and see the things that are happening in the community, because it's all possible for you as well. Podcasting, doing all these events, doing all kinds of things. I want you to pick out something and realize that everything in this next segment started at zero. Everybody starts at zero. So find something that you can apply to your business, and then let us know you did and how it goes, because we're excited for everybody joining us today.
Because, it might be hard the first time you do it, but we look at the numbers now. We're doing it, right? So we're going to...
Speaking of, Jillo, let's look at those numbers, because I'm so impressed with this week's numbers.
All right, let's go. Thank you, Carrie and Kim. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the GME Chronicles. My name is Jill Olish, and we have some exciting updates for you today, June 21st, 2024. The GME Chronicles is the celebration of moving the needle in our businesses, and we want to share these numbers out loud with you to show what is possible when we come together in business. The total of 16 events last week included Kat's Pilates classes and 2 nights of her Revitalize Your Midlife Symposium. Plus, My Sexy Business hosted the TNT website workshop and 6 mastermind sessions. My Sexy Business posted 1 blog, 62 YouTube clips, and went live with show number 65 of GME. My Sexy Business. 4 new podcast episodes dropped last week. Go give them a listen. Sisters in Service, 5 and 15 interview leadership series, Buckets and Boom Gates, and Late Bloomer Living. On Clubhouse, Adam and Kim hosted the My Sexy Business Not Creepy room on Wednesday, and on LinkedIn Audio, Donna hosted her room on Tuesday. Last week's total of 84 brings our grand total to 5,205 amazing things. We look forward to more updates next week, and if you are ready to join in on the fun around here, you can find us coming up this week at Mama Outspoken Village Gathering with me tomorrow, Donna's Big Show and Tell on Tuesday, Website Royalty Workshop on Thursday, and save the date again for Groundwork Brigade Open House on July 3rd and 4th. Back to you, Kim and Carrie.
I'm thinking cheers to the numbers, Jill, with my messy coffee cup as usual.
Because I don't drink coffee.
Chillo doesn't drink coffee with us. She just pretends, I'm going to call it. So I have to giggle about something really cute in the Chronicles. One, the number just blows my mind every single week whenever you add it in there. Jill has been faithfully keeping track of all of these things so that we can bring these numbers to you, but 5,000 something, 5,205, I think was the number. But I'm just like, how can that be in 2.5 years?
Yeah.
That is amazing to me.
It is. I'm glad it's not all in like the last few months. I'm glad it's over a couple of years, and I'm glad it's spread over a couple of masterminders too, because it's a huge number, and we're all supporting each other at each of these events, which is even more fantastic.
So good. But so I have to call something out because we believe in being transparent. We believe in being messy, but I have to absolutely giggle and clarify something that was in the Chronicles. One, it was a little off because I was having a hard time getting the timing right, and I kept getting kicked out of the program we use. The other is the heavy breathing in the background was actually Jill's son, because I heard that the first time and I'm like, wait. And then I realized he's trying to get his mama's attention and she's trying to get the video done.
So hoping it'd be low enough that you wouldn't hear him. He was behind the door of the other room and sticking his fingers underneath the door, trying to get at me. I'm like, I just need 5 minutes.
So this is a great example, though. Let me just call this out, because this is a great example of being a mama, being an entrepreneur, being a roving reporter on GME, all the things, and giggling your way through it, because, it can be frustrating when you're trying to do the hard things. It can be very frustrating. And the truth is, everybody has hard things to do. Everybody's juggling something. Everybody has to learn a way to really laugh their way through, because if not, sometimes we would just cry our way through. So, but I have to extra giggle because I heard him and I'm like, oh my goodness, that is what I hear.
Gotta love his appearances and my stuff.
Too cute.
Well, speaking of doing hard things as entrepreneurs, there are tons of questions that we have along the way. So we have this week from one of our listeners, subscribers, they've asked the question, when can I start delegating?
So this might be a spicy answer this week, but when you know how, I'm gonna say that, because a lot of people want to delegate something, but they don't want to slow down and actually give good instructions. And so they might hire someone to delegate something to, and then they're mad at that other person because the other person's not doing what they're wanting them to do. And it's always the other person's fault, kind of, when you're not when you start to delegate, when in reality it's not. Yeah. In reality is, if you don't give good enough instructions in the right way to the right human, also, delegating is a painful process. Once you get good at it, it's amazing what can happen when you have a team surrounding you, and the influence and impact you can have is multiplied. But I have to giggle about, it's not about the win yet. If you haven't started delegating yet, I do think it's about learning how to give good instructions. And you're going to learn messy along the way. You will learn.
Now, is there some place that someone can learn how to delegate before they figure out that they are able to?
So I'm going to giggle about a couple of things. We just did a Buckets and Boom Gates podcast episode, or I guess a couple of episodes, on trying to help people understand how to delegate and some of the things that are involved. And I made some pretty serious confessions on there, so y'all don't judge. Let me say that. But I really think when you start to delegate something, the way to know if your instructions are not clear is, one, they're not doing it. They're not doing it what you've asked them to do. And the other is, if they have a million questions, be very patient, because if they have a million questions, it's really about the instructions not being clear enough. Yeah. So keep adding to those instructions, keep on going with that. And a very wise mentor of mine years and years ago told me, once you delegate something, never be okay with taking it back. Never stop delegating that thing, because that is you giving up on the process, and it's a process that needs to be fixed. So once you start delegating something, and always start with one thing, I feel like that's the best advice, Jill, we can give someone.
That's good advice. And for more advice, definitely go check out those episodes on the Buckets and Boom Gates podcast for sure. Yeah, so I think it's about time we start heading into some of our roving reporter videos. And I'd love to introduce us to our two salty sisters. First, coming up, Yvonne with Entrepreneurship Later in Life.
Yvonne Marchese, age agitator, podcast host, community builder, branding photographer, published author, event speaker, and GME roving reporter.
Thanks, Kim and Carrie. This is Yvonne Marchese coming to you as a roving reporter for Good Morning Entrepreneurs. I'm your resident age agitator here to talk about later in life entrepreneurship. And I want to talk today about empty nest moms who decide to start a business or get into running a business. One of the biggest challenges that you might face is rebuilding your professional confidence. You know, after years of devoting yourself to raising your children, it's natural to feel uncertain about stepping into running a business. But remember that the skills you've honed as a mom, organization, multitasking, problem solving, they're all going to serve you in entrepreneurship. One of the best things you can do is surround yourself with a supportive community of other women entrepreneurs, a mentor, a coach. Connect with others who understand your journey. Their encouragement and advice can be invaluable and really keep you going when things get tough. You've already succeeded in one of the toughest jobs, raising a family. Now it's time to channel that strength into your business. That's all for now. Back to you, Kim and Carrie.
Talk about doing the hard things. Raising a family is like one of the top hardest and best things I have ever done in my life.
I love listening to Yvonne's segments because even though I'm not an empty nester, it's still so applicable to me as a current mom of a toddler that, yeah, we have to pull in so much strength to raise a family. And it takes that equal kind of strength to raise a business. Like, another kid of ours.
Exactly. And Jill, I want to say, you and Yvonne, this was last month, but you and Yvonne did an amazing episode where she was actually interviewing you for her podcast, and it's Late Bloomer Living Podcast. If you all are not already subscribed, go and subscribe and listen, because it is such a great podcast. And your episode in particular was so good for mamas. And Yvonne, don't tell Yvonne we said this, y'all, but I think Yvonne is one of the best interviewers ever. She definitely has rock star status. And that was in Yvonne's voice, the rock star part. So
Yes. And what is she up to now? 191 episodes, 92?
191, I think, was the last I saw. Yeah, that's a lot.
It's so incredible.
It is absolutely incredible. And I do have to call an audible. And you all will laugh because we're rogue today completely. But the audible is we're going to switch things up and go to one of our sponsors, which is the Mastermind. But I am giggling only because timing is a lot of this, and we're doing our best, y'all. We're doing our best.
We'll be back in a minute.
This show is sponsored by Groundwork Brigade Mastermind. Are you an entrepreneur who is focused on making an impact,
but you haven't figured out how to make an income doing it?
We spent years trying to figure out how to do both.
And we realized the business adventure is not a one-size-fits-all. I'm Kim White. I'm the founder and fierce leader of the My Sexy Business team.
And I'm Carrie Zarb, Aussie bucket of swearing sunshine.
And she's a brilliant entrepreneur, by the way.
We both understand how it feels to believe we are the only ones who can't figure things out.
So we decided to join forces so we could get in the trenches with you.
We lead a very special mastermind group so you can be confident in strategically implementing
the right things in the right order so that you too can get the best possible results.
We cover a variety of topics based on what you need,
including building a business that you own and doesn't own you.
We even address things like social media strategy and simple tech solutions.
If you would like to meet other entrepreneurs who are living proof of what is possible,
come and join us at Groundwork Brigade Mastermind Open House.
Thank you, Jill. So we want to invite everybody to the open house. It's July 3rd and 4th. If you want more information, let us know. But one thing I love about the show that I just want to say out loud, Jill, is the fact that we can sponsor our own selves. So if you're watching this and you have never thought about that before, whatever you're doing, sponsor yourself. Like, start there. Everybody's always looking for sponsors and all that stuff. But guess what? If you're in business, you can sponsor your own self. So I'm just going to put it out there, Jillo.
One of the examples that I loved seeing this week about sponsoring themselves is from our next roving reporter, Kat Corchado, or the freaking fabulous Kat Corchado. So let's head over to her segment with health and wellness for entrepreneurs.
The friggin' fabulous Kat Corchado, proud US Air Force veteran, health and wellness professional, founder of Small Space Pilates, podcast host, published author, and GME Roving Reporter.
Thanks, Kim and Carrie. Hi, everybody. We are going to do a stretch for our chest and our upper backs. You know, when we've been sitting for a long time, we kind of go here. We just want someone to just lift our chest and make our back stretch and make it feel good. But you're going to be able to do this on the floor yourself. So make sure this is appropriate for you. Check with your physician and or your physical therapist. So the first thing you're going to do is lay on the floor. And you can keep your knees bent if you like. Arms down by your side. You're going to inhale, lift the arms up to the ceiling. You're right here. Make sure the back of your shoulders are touching the mat. And now reach not to the floor, but to the wall behind you, or in my case, the door. Reach. And then inhale up and exhale lower. Let's do one more. Inhale, back of the shoulders on the mat. Exhale, reach to the back wall. Oh, that feels good. Inhale up and exhale lower. So you can do that stretch anywhere between 1 and 5 times until it just feels good. And you can do it a couple times a day if you like. So next time I'll have another stretch you can add on. Okay. So until next time, back to you, Kim and Carrie.
Cat rocks our world is what I'm going to say.
He really does. And I'm so glad I did not try and do that one because I was not getting on the floor today.
You'd been laying there and I had been by myself doing this.
So Kat has been having her Revitalize Your Midlife Symposium this whole week. And it has been phenomenal. And like I said, she has been sponsoring herself with Small Space Pilates, which was so awesome to see her using that advice that we've given week after week here.
So exciting. If you are interested in attending the symposium, I think that the replays are on her YouTube channel. Let's just be very clear about that. I think they're on her Facebook and her LinkedIn also, but go and check out the replays for it because tonight's the last night. And you really, if you haven't been there, you really want to have seen the whole thing. It's just been really, really good.
Yeah, for sure. And another roving reporter of ours who's been really helping out a lot of people in their entrepreneurial business is our Denise Millay, and helping entrepreneurs be findable online.
Denise Millay, a findability queen, tech simplifier, game show host, published author, website builder, founder of M Media Group and GME Roving Reporter.
The way that a search engine knows what's on the internet is it has little programs that are called bots, short for robot, that are really autonomous programs that, no one's saying start and finish. They just keep running, right? And they read pages on the internet, and then they find a link on the page and they go to the next page, and then they go to the next page, and they go to the next page. And as they're doing that, they follow a process. They call it an algorithm, but they follow a process of steps to understand what they're reading. So certain things that it reads, it puts into the catalog, kind of like in a library, if you remember the old card catalogs in a library, and it would have the title and it would have the author and, some other reference information, description of the book. Well, it's the same thing for a page. So it's pulling that information and putting it in its catalog as it's going through and reading each page. And it continually does that all over the public spaces on the internet.
It's mind-blowing how much information is out there.
Could you imagine if we had to have a card catalog for every page on the internet? It would circle the globe, I'm sure.
Maybe several times.
Maybe. I wouldn't want to keep those cards up to date.
No, I wouldn't want to be looking through them trying to find what I wanted. So our findability queen, and I think that that is the best word for her. Like even surfing the keyboard in the bottom corner, and her book was like right there in the other corner. I feel like she has given so much value to this community, Jill, and she has done so many things to help people, because a lot of people are so intimidated by the SEO and, you know, all the things, all the big techie words, I'll call them. And she just makes things really simple.
Yeah, just like we do Princess Speak, Denise has her own way of simplifying all of that hard and confusing behind the scenes of your website stuff to us. It's all in her book, actually. So let me pull that up so we can see that beautiful thing. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
So the theme of the show is doing hard things, and I'm thinking this would major qualified to. But if you get her book and you go through it, you'll find out what a lot of us have found out. There's simple things to do to be more findable. I'm not going to name names, but someone in our community who is normally here, we'll just say it that way, has gone from a couple thousand to over 100,000 visitors a month by following Denise's advice. So I feel like that's one of the best, like, living proof examples. We've set records on our website based on what Denise has told us. So I think it's really important, if you can grasp the concept. If they can't find you, they can't do business with you, let Denise help you be found online.
Thank you for sharing about that, Kim. Well, I think we can head to our next roving reporter, who is doing lots of hard things currently and getting a brand new show together. So we'll head over to our Donna Bender with Surprise and Delight Marketing for today.
Donna Bender is a certified givologist, branded product specialist, corporate marketing trainer, creator of The Giving Plan, show host, published author, and GME Roving Reporter.
Thanks, Kim and Carrie. This is Donna Bender coming to you today as a roving reporter for Good Morning Entrepreneurs. Today's Surprise and Delight marketing segment is on what's in a name, words to describe branded products. To be clear, a branded product is a tangible physical item used to promote you and your company. And you may have heard me say this many, many times, that the right branded product used with the right intention and given to the right audience can, in fact, increase your business. So over the last many years, there have been several words that have been used to describe these items as well. So here are the top 10. Logoed items, promos, specialty advertising, branded marketing, swag, branded products, promotional products, merch, and my least favorite word, tchotchkes. Why? Well, besides the hair on the back of my neck going up every time I hear that word, if you look up the definition of the word tchotchke, you will see that it says a small, cheap, ornamental trinket or souvenir, a knick-knack. So, if you're giving away a small, cheap, ornamental trinket or knick-knack, what does that say about your company? Hollywood and influencers have really cornered the word swag. What did you get in your swag bag? What are you putting in your swag bag? Oh my God, I need to find something to put in the golf swag bag. And over the past several years, the word that's getting more and more attention is the word merch. And when I see this changing in my industry, the industry that provides all the products, well, then you know you will be seeing it more and more. But here's the bottom line. It really doesn't matter what you call them, except the word I really don't like. If it is the right branded product that people want to use and keep, they will build successful relationships that will increase your business. Back to you in the GME studios.
She cracks me up every time. But I like the word tchotchke. I don't know. That's maybe the Italian in me.
I love it because Donna brings so many different ideas to all of us of not tchotchkes, not of the merch or the swag, whatever you want to call it. But she's got so many great ideas of how to use it to build relationships like she was talking, and how to market your way in a different way so that you do stand out from everybody else in the right way. Let me say that. I don't want to be known as a cheap somebody.
And we have to tell you, please go check out the Big Show and Tell on Tuesday, because it's June 25th, 1 p.m. Central, because it has gotten to be this amazing show. And I've had the pleasure of seeing the last two, and I cannot wait to see it again next week.
I'm very excited for her because the Big Show and Tell is bringing big results for like companies and businesses and entrepreneurs, and like she just has so much fun, and you never know what she's coming as. Like you never know what costume it is, but it's like a variety show. So I think that's another fun part. It's edutainment instead of just, you need to do this and you need to do that. She educates you, but definitely entertains you in the process.
Well, I wanted to let everyone know who is tuning in now, because it's about halfway through our show, and we want to make sure if you're just catching us now, you are catching us at Good Morning Entrepreneurs. We are so glad that you are watching today or catching the replay. And I mean, it's show 66. I mean, that is huge. We are doing hard things around here. The Roving Reporters showing up today with us are doing hard things, and we hope that inspires you to go ahead and do those hard things that you have coming up too.
I love it. And I think our next Roving Reporter does a lot of hard things with 4 littles behind her at all times. Like, let's say that too. It's our Linda Bonney with conversations and storytelling for entrepreneurs.
Linda Bonney is a published author, conversationalist, writer, storyteller, podcast host, production manager, and GME roving reporter.
Thanks, Kim and Kerry. Have you ever wondered why some brands instantly win you over, while others are about as appealing as soggy cereal? It all comes down to one magical ingredient: engaging conversations. No, I'm not talking about on our way to marriage. I'm speaking about when people feel that you are speaking directly to them and holding their interests. They are more likely to trust you and your business. Imagine having a heart-to-heart over a cozy cup of coffee. That's the sort of vibe we're looking for. Now, there are 3 reasons I think for this. Because stories resonate. We can share relatable, down-to-earth stories. For example, maybe you talk about the first scrappy business plan that you had that was drawn on a napkin. There's a visual and auditory appeal. We can spice up our conversations with humour and wit, and maybe even throw in a playful gif or two. And number 3, asking questions. Make them think, laugh, make them engage. It's all part of weaving trust between both you and your audience. Creating engagement with your audience through conversations is like adding that perfect seasoning to your dish. It heightens all the flavours and leaves a lasting impression. Back to you in the GME studio.
Love it. I love the whole soggy cereal reference, and then the spices leaving a lasting impression on a good meal.
She's so descriptive. I love it. But it makes it easy to understand and more comfortable when trying to apply it. And yeah, she's got a way with words, so creative, telling stories, even when trying to share how to have conversations.
I agree, Jill. I agree. She has had some amazing conversations on Stories with the Sunday Roast podcast that she's parlayed, and looky what Jill's got. Jill Olish Van White. She's filling in.
but that is one of the collections that Linda's already put together from the podcast. Adam says she parlays them into books. I love that term. But what do you have to add to that, Jillo? Because I am smitten with the stories.
Well, I love these stories. I'm happy to have been a part of it, but I'm so much more looking forward to season 2, which is coming out for the podcast soon, which means another volume of collections will be right behind that as well. So I don't know how she does it as her co-host with Mucked Up My Self-Care podcast. I don't know how she fits in all the time with everything she has going on. So I just adore her for being the entrepreneur I strive to be.
She can teach us all things about writing for sure. She has got such a creative way with words and with writing. And the two of you, I do want to speak to that really quickly. The two of you have your Mucked Up My Self-Care podcast that comes out weekly. That I love it because you all are not editing. You are raw and real about your conversations about like what it really means to be entrepreneurs and mamas and how to navigate that, but how to navigate taking care of yourself in the process, which I think our generation and older did not have any clue of how to do that.
The hard thing to do. And I know it's another one of our roving reporters that dives into hard things, but first a commercial before we head to her segment, showing off her upcoming club that's run every month. So we'll be back in 1 minute after we hear from our next sponsor.
Do you find your finances confusing or overwhelming? Well, guess what? You're not alone. I'm Kerry Zarb and I am the Money Barista. It's time to take away those sleepless nights, all the stress and pressure we feel from those flippin' digits. Finances can be hard, and this is why your seat at the virtual cafe is reserved in the Money Barista Club. Our meetups are held on the third Wednesday of each month at 6 p.m. Central Time, and I'm inviting you to join us to ask questions, gain access to resources so that you can get in control of your business finances. This is where coffee meets money. Are you ready? What are you waiting for? It's time for you to be in the driver's seat of your finances. Head over to kerryzarb.com/club to join me in the virtual cafe and start controlling the beans in your business today.
So let's head into Kerry's segment for today, where she's going to be talking a little bit more about some of the hard in our finances for us.
Kerry Zarb is a rock star podcaster, brilliant entrepreneur, director of Zinc Business Solutions, cover girl, mastermind leader, and GME Roving Reporter.
Welcome to the Virtual Cafe for this week's segment on business finances. And today I want to chat about finance meetings. I know what you're thinking. Only big corporations have finance meetings, and they have meetings about meetings and another meeting about the meeting. I agree. However, it's really important as a business owner, as a budding entrepreneur, that we do hold a finance meeting, even if it's just with ourselves. Take a moment to think about how you can hold your own finance meeting. When we're in control of our business finances, having a meeting is super critical. Actually sit down and look at the numbers. It'll help you understand what they mean. It'll also help you make better decisions with your money. Looking at how much is coming in, looking at how much is going out, and seeing if you have profit. Having a finance meeting will reveal the answers that you're looking for. Going back to the meeting for the meeting for the meeting, don't just have a finance meeting because I'm telling you to. And sometimes we don't need to have them too often. You might decide to schedule your finance meeting in the middle of next month, looking at this month's figures. Trust me when I say that these finance meetings, although they seem silly and you might feel a little bit strange to be having a meeting with yourself, if it's on your calendar and you commit to having a finance meeting, give yourself the opportunity to look at those numbers, see what they mean. Maybe they don't make much sense yet, but they will. The more time you spend with the numbers, the more sense that they'll make to you over a period of time. Don't put pressure on yourself to be able to make the big decisions, but start looking at the numbers to get more comfortable and start understanding them. That's all today from the Virtual Cafe. Back to you, Kim.
Carrie's so amazing. I miss her being on the show with us. I'm going to say this out loud but here's the thing. When you run a great business and you learn to do the things that you need to do in your business, this is what happens. Carrie had to choose to go and I'm going to call play with her clients. She had to go and put her cape on and do some amazing things with them, is why she hasn't been able to join us on GME as the host for a while. So I want to say out loud, Carrie Zarb, we miss you and we are so proud of you doing all the things you're doing. But we also want to, for everybody's sake, Jill, tell everybody that the next club meeting, you need to go get your calendar and mark it on your calendar. July the 17th at 6 p.m. Central is Carrie's next club meeting. So
I know I'm going to try and be there for next month because I missed this week's meeting and I miss her so much. And I do need to stay consistent, as we were saying on our finance meeting. So. Well, I'd love to head to our next segment on Military Minute with Kat Corchado.
I've made this mistake, is why I know this, when I think I know what will help an entrepreneur, but I don't realize they're going through something in the background, something
Absolutely.
they have not shared. Can you speak to that a little bit?
I think the one thing that's hard is that we've done one of the hardest things that one person can do in this country, and that's wear the uniform. And we've done some hard things. We've seen some hard things. We've been in charge of millions of dollars worth of equipment and assets. And so when we come out of the military, we tend to think that we don't need anyone's help. That when someone tries to help us, maybe you think you can do it on your own. And so I think what we have to do is leave the door open for them, not just close the door, but say, maybe they're not in that place to hear what you have to say right now, but to let them know, look, I'm here, because eventually they're going to get there. They're going to try it on their own, like me, and realize I can't do this on my own. I need help. Then the problem is, where do you go for the help? And so I think once you get over that hump of realizing you need, just like you need the other people in your unit to help you, you also need it here too. Being an entrepreneur is, singular, but I think it takes a village to help entrepreneurs get to a place where they feel like, yeah, I got this.
How on point for today's theme of doing things that are hard.
Well, Kat has done some amazingly hard things. And Kat, we appreciate you for all the service you've done inside the military and outside, because she's a big part of our community. And when she was talking about the village, I have to giggle because that was not planned, but it happens to be our next roving reporter is actually created a village for mamas. And I'd love to go to that segment, Jill, on mama entrepreneurs.
Jill Polish is the founder of Mama Outspoken, executive team leader, postpartum awareness advocate, vision board party host, event coordinator, podcast host, GME associate producer, and roving reporter.
Thanks, Carrie and Kim. Living out your dream life now instead of waiting until you're of age in retirement and can look a little messy. because there may not have been someone there to give you an example. And it might take some getting used to just doing the things that feel different because maybe a lot of other people aren't putting their priorities first. But we want to do what's special for us, the things that make us feel good and important and keep our health in check and making us living out happy lives that aren't run by our businesses. So it could look a little messy. We're starting out new. We're paving the way as entrepreneurs, as moms or parents. We might be doing a lot of things first, but we're setting amazing examples for those following behind us in our footsteps or watching on the sidelines. So keep doing what you're doing to live your life now instead of waiting for once it's all past you. Because how amazing is it to be an inspiration for someone else to start living out their life now too. Back to you, Kim and Carrie.
So that roving reporter happens to be the same co-host with me, I just have to say, but still I'm so proud of you because you have created a space for mamas to come together, and it is the Mama Outspoken Village. And the first meeting, y'all, if you want to be in on like in the know as a mama, I'm going to say you need to be there tomorrow, June 22nd at 8 a.m. Central. And Jill, do you have anything you'd like to say as an invitation? Because this is a big deal.
It's exciting. I don't know what this space is going to be like for the future. I just know tomorrow I want to hold a space for any moms to come in and just find who's in your village and have a safe space to talk about being a mom and maybe an entrepreneur or whatever else is going on in life right now.
I love it.
As we've talked about all morning.
Hard things. That seems to be the common denominator across like mama and entrepreneurship. So perfect.
Well, I guess it's time to go ahead to our next roving reporter who is doing a very hard thing by staying away from the show as we've banished him. So let's go hear from Adam, Entrepreneurs in Entertainment.
Adam Rothenberg is a media personality, interview king, clubhouse manager, published author, event coordinator, red carpet correspondent, GME associate producer, and roving reporter.
Thanks, Kim and Carrie. It's Adam, and I'm back in the closet for yet another edition of Behind the Curtain. And today, I want to talk about my interview with John Tartaglia, who you know from the Tony Award-winning Broadway musical Avenue Q and his television series on the Disney Channel, Johnny and the Sprites. Well, in 2013, I got to interview John Tartaglia. But what you may not know, and this is the behind the curtain story, is that prior to our interview together, I got to take a masterclass with John Tartaglia himself as he taught theater-style puppetry. And he was known for his work definitely in Avenue Q, but also for his puppetry work on Sesame Street. I was so excited to be in that room with him and learning from a true master. Well, as a result of that class, one of my puppetry colleagues actually made me my very own puppet. And I am so excited for him to make his debut today. And I want to introduce everybody to my friend Hampton. Hello, everybody. I'm Hampton. And that is today's Behind the Curtain story. I think that was my line. And that is today's Behind the Curtain story. It's back to you in the GME Studio.
Oh my goodness.
For the one time that Adam is not here to share his extra story with his photo. That was amazing.
We do have a photo. We did like convince him to send us the photo so we could share it there, Jillo. If we want to pull that up and like there's when it happened, I'll say.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness. So I think everyone should have their own puppet and get to play on Sesame Street and do all those things. But
I'll just tell you, Jill, I don't know if you've been able to do any of that, but I haven't. That's why we hang out with Adam. We get to be in the know.
So stinking cool. All right. I can't get that picture down. So
okay.
There we go. It disappeared from my side.
Messy and beautiful, right?
Yes. So, well, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say we need to point out that Adam has done so many interviews that go to callmeadam.com, and his entertainment platform is filled with interviews and fun things. And sign up for his digest, because he sends out a weekly digest with all kinds of fun. I love it because it's entertaining to hear the digest, and then it's even more entertaining because he links to everything you want to go to. He makes it easy. So Adam, we miss you today, and I'm telling you, you want to be the first one to know, go to callmeadam.com.
That means speaking of jingles, let's go to our next commercial, one of our other sponsors, and we'll hear a word from them, and then we'll be right back in just 1 minute.
Once upon a time, there was a princess from Oklahoma living a traveling life in Texas.
When along comes an Aussie bucket of swearing sunshine.
When these two girls from opposite ends of the globe met in February 2021,
even the universe did not know what it was in for.
Determined to solve world problems for entrepreneurs, we still to this day learn just how similar we are.
We have found our passions were too strong not to unite and become the partners in change that we are.
What is a bucket and a boom gate?
So a bucket is basically a category or a way to change how you're looking at something big.
And a boom gate is a way to protect ourselves. Sometimes we need a boom gate to protect ourselves from ourselves.
We have lots of experience of our lifetimes of business, and we want to share that with you.
We look forward to bringing you weekly episodes of the Buckets and Boom Gates podcast.
I love the podcast.
So good.
And let me just say this, because we're on episode 70 something. I can never remember. So don't make fun of me. Don't judge. No judging.
71 aired this week.
It's an amazing evolving. It's an evolution of something, because Carrie and I did start the podcast together, and Carrie and I have like lots of history of doing these things. But it has been amazing because Carrie is so busy with her clients, because she's doing good business, that she has helped us and helped pass that baton for now of Jill Olish, the famous Jill Olish on the GME hosting stage, is also the host with me now of BBG. We go into the BBG studio and we try to bring you all something, but it's very fun to see the evolution, because the commercials are changing, the intros are changing, the different things are changing. But I love that we're able to do it out loud so someone can see how to evolve from one thing into the podcast isn't changing as far as the topic is still for entrepreneurs and business owners, but it's amazing to see all that's happened. So I just want to call that out loud, Jill. I love the podcast, and I love that you are hosting with me, and I love that Carrie and I had such a good time doing it for so long.
You guys set the stage really well for an amazing podcast for entrepreneurs, for it to take these level ups and conversation and guests possibly, and in the look. So it's very fun to see how we start doing something hard, and then how it gets a little easier, and then we introduce a little bit more hard because we have to change things up. So when we're changing things up, sometimes we're doing them willy-nilly, but I think you have a better word for our Princess Speak. So I'd like to head over to that segment, and you can tell us what this week's word is in just a second.
Love it. So this week's Princess Speak words are on the fly. I know that that's a phrase that other people use in different ways, but for us, on the fly is being flexible enough to do something and prepared enough to be okay at it. You need to practice to get really good at something. But at the same time, if you do something on the fly, like Jill and I have done during this show, we've done several things on the fly because we needed to, but it helps when you're prepared. Like, you know your business, you know what you're doing. And even if you're learning, because if you're not learning, what in the world are you doing? You're not on an adventure. You are not building something bigger than you if you're not learning. So I think that that's part of being on the fly, being prepared, practicing that confidence, and being flexible. When your kitty Ringo walks across the back of your chair during Good Morning Entrepreneurs, you just go with it. That was on the fly, Jill.
What the challenging part can be, though, is the control freakiness that we might have over things and trying to keep the cat away or trying not to have little children making sounds while you're recording a segment.
I love both of those examples. So let's just be real about this, though. If you're watching this show, and we do hope we are entertaining enough to keep you giggling along the way with us, but doing hard things, it is hard. We're not trying to make light of that. We are trying to tell you there's easier ways to do things after you learn them. There are things you can do to be flexible. There are things that you can take the pressure off by not putting so much perfection on yourself. And, control freakiness is one thing, but don't call yourself a control freak, because that's not changeable. Control freaky is you have the option to practice that change. And Jill has a great quote that I love, 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 and that is, easy comes after practice. Mm-hmm. So I think on the fly is a great quote for on the fly. It gets easier after the practice.
Yeah. And I think also, Kat was saying in Military Minute, having the support of others around you in your business and life is going to make being on the fly just a little bit easier, as well as doing those hard things just a little bit easier as well.
Love it. Love it. Love it. So I'm going to call an audible. We're going to play a video before we play the credits, just giving you a heads up. But I want to say to you watching, we hope that you found an idea to implement in your business. We hope that you found a way to do the hard things, maybe a little bit more fun than what you thought. And we would love to tell you and remind you, being on the fly, practice, be prepared, but be flexible for your own sake so that you don't break in the process of building a business. We want you to have a business you own and doesn't own you. So Jillo, I'm going to push a different button and then I'm going to let you roll the credits, because I think this is necessary to say thank you to y'all.
We would like to thank our associate producers, Jill Olish and Adam Rothenberg, for all of their hard work behind the scenes to make Good Morning Entrepreneurs possible.
Love y'all. See you next week.
Join us next Friday at 7 a.m. Central.
This is the team signing off for Good Morning Entrepreneurs.